Hi, my name is Mark Mosley. I am a small business owner. I am the owner and operator of a restaurant. This is the dream that I have had pretty much my whole life that God has fulfilled for me. And I just wanted to take a few minutes and talk to you a little bit about my story. As a restaurant owner, we have the opportunity of getting to know our guests, especially our regular people that visit us. And on several occasions, I had an elderly gentleman that I'd had numerous conversations with that had previously owned a small business. And just one day he asked me, Mark, have you ever considered giving from the business? And to be honest with you, I had to say no, I hadn't. And my wife and I, Wendy, have been givers and tithers most of our lives, but I never really took that into the business. So it was a new challenge for me. I know that God is faithful. He is faithful to us that when we have given. So this was something I really received from God, that this is what He wanted us to do. And so we took a small step of faith, and we started supporting a local ministry in the area that we have our restaurant. And God has just continued to bless us. I'm sure you all know for the last year we've been in the middle of a pandemic, and the pandemic has had a huge effect on the restaurant industry. Financially, that was a huge hit. And even when we were able to open up the restaurant, we was only able to open up to 50% capacity. So once again, the loss of income was very stressful for us, just trying to keep the restaurant afloat. But even during this time, we continued to give. I'm not saying that we didn't have any challenges, because we did. We continued to have challenges. But God has given us the opportunity to maneuver through those challenges. I know that in Scripture, God, He tells us that He'll never leave us nor forsake us, and He hasn't, even during these difficult times, and probably even more difficult times to come. But I look back over the last 5 years, and some of the things that I have learned and that God has taught me is that you cannot give God. The lack of you managing your money affects your ability to give back to God. There was an old pastor one time in my life, many years ago, that made a statement that has stuck with me. He said, "Don't make God live off your leftovers. You live off of them." You may be sitting here today and you may not be a small business owner, but I know God has provided you with resources in order to impact His kingdom. Maybe it's from something you sold on Marketplace. Maybe it's from your tax incomes. One thing I have learned and that God has taught me over life is that I don't own anything. He owns it all. And so today, my challenge to you is to take one small step of faith.